a little bit of football recruiting here. Recruiting never sleeps, ever. And in some cases, the process gets moved along very, very quickly, and that's been the case for a elite prospect out of DeSoto, Texas, Ethan Boobie Feaster, a wide receiver, consensus top 10 wide receiver in the country. Some think a top 10 player in the state of Texas, who was a 2027 prospect, but is now reclassified to 2026, which means he could theoretically sign in this coming December and enroll 11 months from now in 2026. And he's got roots in Louisiana. He, of course, as I mentioned, he plays at DeSoto in Texas, but he considers himself from Louisiana. So he was talking with Chad Simmons, who's with On3, said he's got an official visit set up to Southern Cal in June. LSU will be June 20th. And then he's got Texas and Texas A&M as well. That's the top four. So you've got the two in-state programs in Texas and Texas A&M. You've got the team out west in USC, and then you've got LSU. He told Chad Simmons that's probably the only visits that he's going to take. He quoted here in the story saying, "I'm from Louisiana, love the staff at LSU. A lot of the staff is from Louisiana. They're not looking to leave, and that's important. Coaches are leaving a lot now for the NFL, so what staff is expected to be there and stay there, that means a lot." So that's a good thing to hear, because you feel like LSU's Louisiana guys are kind of in it for the long haul. I don't see Frank Wilson and Brad Davis moving along really quickly. I mean, they kind of have the job that they want. It's in their hometown or home state in Wilson's case. And Wilson's already done the head coaching thing now back at LSU. He'd have to take a pretty sizable pay decrease to go back and be like an FCS head coach like he was at McNeese. So you feel, I don't know how long Joe Sloan's going to be at LSU. I don't know how long Cortez Hankton's going to be at LSU. But those two guys that are on LSU staff should be there for the long haul. And so we'll see. That could be a feather in LSU's cap. Feaster is 6 feet tall. He's about 175 pounds. But keep in mind, like, he's supposed to be a high school junior right now. He's supposed to be a high school sophomore right now. And there's a lot of development that can go on. But he's really fast. He's really quick. And he's been uber productive there. LSU's got two commitments in wide receiver in the 2026 class in Ja'Kai Anderson and Kenny Darby. Both of them are from inside the state. And then you're looking at Jabari Mack, who's also in the state right now. Shea writes on 3 that LSU is in the mix for a top receiver in the country in Tristan Keys. But you've got to continue to bring in these elite level wide receivers. Like every position on the field is important, and certainly you got to win the line of scrimmage, you got to tackle, you got to rush the passer, you got to get a passer. LSU's restocked the shelves at running back pretty well with this class they just brought in with Harlan Berry and JT Lindsey, but you've got to have dudes on the outside who are difference makers and playmakers. I mean, you look at the team that just won the Super Bowl and the Eagles, like that's a team that's just loaded with studs. You look at Ohio State, just won the national championship, bringing in Jeremiah Smith and going through the wide receivers that they have. And you know how good LSU's offense was 2 years ago with the elite wide receiver play that they got from guys who were tearing it up on the next level. You've got to continue to bring in big-time wide receivers, and those guys can get to the field quickly. I mean, how many times do we hear 17 years old at Alabama, 17 years old at Alabama, 17 years old? You can get to the field, and if you're a stud, you can play quickly. And the thought is that Feaster is that. I know LSU feels good about Ja'Kai Anderson as well as Kenny Darby. Darby said he's shut down his recruitment. We'll see. It doesn't appear that's imminent for Feaster. He's going to take those 4 visits to those 4 schools. You know what can happen when Texas and Texas A&M get involved. Okay, we've seen this a lot over the years. So I've told y'all this time and time again. Like, I don't necessarily get too caught up in commitments and all that kind of stuff. Just show me when the ink is dry. When the ink dries, I'll react. Because you can do Bryce Underwood thing all day long. You can do Decorian Moore things all day long. But it is important that you continue to restock the shelves with elite high school players. And that happens. It just don't have to follow every single twist and turn like I probably did 15 years ago. So Feaster is going to be a guy that we're paying attention to from a little bit of afar. It's going to take a little bit of time, but he's declared his top 4. LSU very much in the mix, and they're looking to put together a kind of a big class in terms of numbers at wide receiver in this 2026 cycle, and Boobie Feaster very much is involved in that. So we'll keep you updated as we learn more. Shout out to the folks over at the Bengal Tiger on 3 for doing all of that reporting. It's some really good stuff on their site today. Highly suggest you get on by and check out what they're doing over there at the Bengal Tiger. Hey, thanks for watching Hunt on LSU. Before you get out of here, do us a couple of favors. Hit that like button, leave your comments below, and subscribe to the channel for all your Fighting Tiger football talk. See you next time.